Okay, in this lesson, we start looking very closely at you and what you can bring to the table here, and whether you have got what it takes to have a go at this online stuff.
Pretty interesting.
So, you're going to need some paper, because we need to write down your answers to a whole heap of questions. Okay, and we'll start with an easy one. What do you want? What do you want? Okay, well, maybe it was easy when you're a kid to answer that, but the older you get, the harder that question seems to become. But nevertheless, it is important that you try to have an understanding of what you want. And I'll have to assume for the rest of this discussion that your what has something to do with setting up an online business, but I'd just like you to put your own detailed wording to it. So, write down your answer. What do you want? And now, if we were to follow the standard approach, the next question would probably be, how are you going to get it? And to think about that, you need to answer some nitty-gritty questions. And I've got them for you. So first up, do you have a reasonably good PC, computer, and reliable internet connection? You know, if you're still working on an old 386 with dial-up, I think you better get back into the 21st century if you're going to have a good go at this. So the next question, speaking of your computers, you got a reasonable understanding of how your computer and the software that's on it works. You know, just the basics like, an email. How does the email program work? How does your web browser work? Stuff like that. And what knowledge do you have of how your tools work? Like your phone, your camera perhaps. How they work and interact with your computer. Can you easily take photos with one of those devices and get them off and put them onto your computer easily enough? Of course, this is all going to take time. And the next question is, can you afford the time to spend at least 1 hour, preferably 2, a day, every day of the week? Can you commit a regular time slot every day? And if you can, where can you fit this time in? How supportive is your family or your spouse with this whole idea of getting online? And is your spouse the sort of person that you can bounce ideas around with? What about money? Can you afford to spend some money to invest in your possible success? I've already mentioned several times about having a minimum of probably about $500 to get started for your first year, or perhaps a bit more if you want to do video, as the software and gear is more expensive. So have you got that money available? But what about some more training? There are other areas that you're going to need training in even after you've completed this course. Have you got some funding for that, for ongoing training? And there might be additional software that you need or additional tools that you need to buy. Let's have a look at your current level of personal debt for that matter. If you're going to chuck your full-time job in, can you support yourself without doing a real job? How? And how long for? Or perhaps, and probably a wiser move, is this going to be a part-time venture until things really get rolling? So how much time and money can you actually afford right now? Now let's find an answer to what useful skills you can bring to the table. What are they? To start you off, do you have an inquiring mind? Can you speak or write well? What about research skills? Do you have any? What software do you regularly use and know well? Can you follow and remember step-by-step instructions and processes, or do you prefer to work things out for yourself? What other skills have you got that, obviously I haven't mentioned everything, but what other skills do you have? How supportive are your friends with the whole idea? Now, a little warning coming in here, because some friends, well, they might appear to be supportive, but actually they're jealousy. They might be jealous that you're making a break and trying something different, and that jealousy or envy can actually undermine your progress and your chances of success, so keep a lookout for that. And in fact, if you've got anybody, family, friends, whatever, who aren't necessarily supportive, who in fact might be negative about it, try and remove those people from your life, because those negatives, you don't need them. You need to surround yourself with positive people to keep up the right mindset, because there's a lot of hours and a lot of time and a lot of effort involved, and the last thing you need is,
No, it's not gonna work. No, what do you think you're doing? I knew it wasn't gonna work.
dragging you down. Do you know other people who can help you? Who are they? What skills or knowledge and so on do they have? Are their personality characteristics complementary to yours? Now, we've got a discussion on that in the next lesson, so you could perhaps even check their why to see if it complements yours. Okay, so we've got a few boring answers there. But now, the next big question to ask, since you've got some of those how answers sorted, is why do you want it? Have you tried anything before that is similar to this? What happened? And why did it happen? Perhaps, what other jobs have you done? Why did you leave them? In my case, many moons ago, it was all to do with my immediate boss, who was trying to tell me how I was going to do my job. And since he wasn't a very nice person in the first place, and I'd had several disagreements with him over trivial, pedantic issues, and because I felt undervalued in that workplace, and, well, you get the idea. There were several motivators for me to make the big jump to working full-time online at the time, but I had been doing years of part-time stuff beforehand, just none of it online. So, why do you want to do this? What is motivating you to make this change? What is motivating you to make this change? I'd like you to come up with a detailed answer and explanation to that before moving on to the next part, please. Now, you probably have a whole list of motivating factors in there, and some of these could be maybe you want to supplement your income through part-time work online. You're looking for a better lifestyle, but what aspects do you want to be better? You're looking for more holidays? Where are you going to go? What sort of places? Maybe you're looking for more or better family time. Can you describe that? Maybe you want a sense of freedom. Maybe you want to escape the rat race, or you're just sick of work. Maybe you want to be your own boss. Maybe you hate the job you are in and you like the sound of full-time work online. Has it all got something to do with personal satisfaction, or maybe you want to build your own tribe or personal growth and you want to give something to the world, you want to fulfill a purpose? Maybe you've heard about recurring income from online and you want to earn that. Maybe the job that you've got now, there's not that much security with it. Or maybe you've heard that I can earn money auto-magically online. Or maybe just working online might be a better use of your time. Or, well, like a lot of people, maybe you're looking for a better meaning for your life. Or you're in a job that's got too much pressure on you right now. There's a whole heap of motivating reasons, and maybe your reasons aren't even on that list. If not, please add them. And then from that list, what I'd like you to do is to pick out your main reason, the main reason why you want to make this change, and write it down. Explain your reasoning. Then pick out your next main reason for wanting to make this change, and write it down, and again explain your reasoning. Finally, pick out a third main reason for wanting to make this change, and write that down, and again explain your reasoning. I'm suggesting here that the reasons you think are important may not necessarily be the most important ones behind this whole decision-making process, because the more you ask why and have to explain your reasoning, the deeper you go towards finding the right answer. So, from these three reasons that you've got above, which one of them is now the most important to you. Why is that? Write it down. And once you've done that, you could or should repeat that whole process again. And as often as you like, by asking, well, what else is important to you in making this change? Ask that 3 times, and then ask which of those is most important. Now, this is a tactic you can use in many, many other situations. It's a variation of the go wide, go deep method used by Troy Dean from WP Elevation to find out what his clients really want. Now, once you've been through that little exercise, I'll ask you again, and remember, my name is Mr. Y. Why do you really want to make this change? I'd like you to write a detailed answer and explanation to that, please. And after you've done that, if you'd like to pursue this whole why concept even further, go and check out the whyinstitute.com. I love their idea of also understanding the personal whys of your partner or your spouse, etc., to make sure they are a good fit for you. Yes, maybe you should do that before you get married. No, never mind. Next up, I want you to play with another online test to find out what sort of person you are. And we'll also discuss where you might need to make some changes or improvements on that score in order to succeed.